Well, hello there ladies and gentlemen, my name is Bigfoot and welcome back to episode number 8 of Transport Fever White Valley. In today's episode we're starting off in a new town, in the town of Chorley, because we are, or I have, should I say, extended what is now going to be the Blue Line. Ooh. Yeah, it's quite funny. So I've had this idea for a while. What I want to do is create a loop. So currently right now, let's actually play the game because that's probably a good idea. We've got 2 train stations in Hetton, as you know. Right now we have the, this is pretty much central, so we're going to call this Hetton Central, like so. And then we've also got Hetton here, which, this is going to be Hetton Main, but I'm going to call this Hetton Bayside because it's down by the water, down by the bay. So that distinguishes the 2 train stations. But all the way up at Burnham, I thought, you know what, I think it'd be a good point to bring the other, or to get the train which goes from the central station here, which will now, and is still going via Hampstead, it's going to go via Chorley and then it's going to end at Burnham. So that is the plan, and that's what I built so far. So I need to go ahead and turn those off because that is causing me quite a bit of lag today. And of course the game saves at the worst time. Basically, that is what I've gone ahead and done. So it's cost me quite a lot of money actually. But this section here is still the same. I still need to tidy some of the terraforming up. Then we get into here at Hampstead. Then after Hampstead, it sort of just cuts through some of these houses which I had to delete. It then comes up this hill and then across this really nice bridge actually, which I think suits and does look natural, I would say. Then it comes along here, and interestingly right behind the steel mill, which we are going to definitely start to get a lot more use of, and I'm hoping to maybe build a good station in this episode as well around here, and maybe a good line, though that might run into the next episodes. And then if we continue along here, we'll eventually get to Chorley, which is where I've got the complaint. Chorley town itself, it's not a bad wee town, just under 300 population, and this town is definitely going to be connected up quite strongly. I mean, it's quite close to towns connected up anyway, so that's why I think it makes sense for having the train line. And then it arrives in Burnham, which already has 4 platforms, and it just simply will slide in to one of these 2 at the right hand side. And then as we know, Burnham's already quite well connected, it's got its own tram, so the town itself is doing extremely well. So with that said, all I need to do is actually just get the train going, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm basically just going to be extending the current train, that's all I need to do. So right now it goes from, that is the Crimson Express. We do need to look at that today actually because it's really struggling. I think I've got too many trains on it. I think that's honestly my problem, or the trains are too big, or it's just weird. I upgraded the trains in the last episode and it's just cost me a lot of money in the end, so it's maybe not the best. Anyway, after Hampstead, what's going to be happening is it's going to be coming all the way out to Chorley, which is actually some distance. From the crow flies, it is a relatively long distance anyway, but it comes out, it's just quite a sharp turn because it is turning 90 degrees essentially along here. Then the approach to Chorley itself is quite straight, which is good. And then there are 2 very straight sections from Chorley to Burnham. And there's you can go relatively fast around that corner anyway. So you come in here to Burnham, back there to Chorley, back up to Hampstead, and then that should be that complete. So we can just go ahead and very quickly rename this. So this is, instead of Hampstead, it is now Burnham. So there we go, that is that good to go. What I'm going to do first of all is I'm just looking at the Crimson Express, although we're not by it. I'm not seeing any train full. The reason honestly is I think I'm just going to go ahead and get you to sell when you return to depot. Though you can't, which is this could actually cause me a problem. I need to be quite smart about this, so we're going to fly down. Basically, the trains are a lot faster, so me just keeping the same amount of trains would have been fine, to be honest. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pause you, and I'm going to get you to return to depot. You should be able to find an electrical path in about now. So if we turn you around, you will return to the depot and you will get sold, which is good. So what I'm basically saying here is that It's a capacity increase, but it's also a speed increase, so that is like 2 increases, which I didn't really consider. I only really considered the capacity increase, but with that, that is going to make a large difference. And we also might now start to see as well people not coming down to this station. If they're going from Burnham to Hetton, they might use the other route, which would be kind of exciting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put more trains onto this line, and I'm going to rename this line actually. So I know I just renamed it there, but I'm going to call it the Blue Line, and the reason is because it currently has blue, or I think one of the trains anyway has blue carriages. What I'm basically going to do is I'm actually going to replace these trains though anyway, because I want to go for something a little bit different. Multiple units is honestly really what I want to go for. What ones are we going to go for? I'm really not at all sure actually. I don't want to go for this train because I'm going to continuously go with this train. Plus these towns are relatively far apart actually, so I might actually go and return to locomotives and maybe get one of these. Although these are predominantly, I would say, used for wagons and pulling goods, I do still like the look of some of them, so we might go ahead and maybe go for like the Class 103. 16 million, but definitely a good investment. Or we could go with something like this, and I think that's what I'll do. So the trains are going to get longer, that's really what I'm going for here. So I'm going to buy this, and I'm going to buy this in a blue. Which that blue is not the kind of blue I'm looking at. That's also not the kind of blue. That's more not even blue. A light blue? Yeah, we'll go with a light blue. And as we can see, the frequency is up to 9 minutes, so it's quite a drastic difference. Then we go for wagons, and then right now we're rocking this carriage, and I think we're going to stick with it. So we're going to go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's there is long trains, and they are 16 million each, which is quite drastic. So I'm going to automatically replace. That's going to cost 19 million. Now with that done, I'm actually going to go ahead and buy that exact same train pretty much. So if I go into locomotives, grab you here, go for that hideous, it's not the prettiest blue to be honest, but I'm just trying to think, I don't really see blue trains. The national operator of Scotland, ScotRail, does have quite a dark blue to be fair actually, but at the same time, I think this will just contrast really, really well with the white. But I guess time will just tell on that one to be honest. Let's go back for these. It's by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then with that, I believe we should be good to go. I'm not really at all sure if I should put a 4th train out or just go with those. I'm gonna have to duplicate this, aren't I? Yeah, clone vehicle, there we go, and put you on the blue line. And the blue line needs to actually become blue. So we've just spent a lot of money there, haven't we? So I don't quite think we're going to get a goods line going just yet, unfortunately. Because I don't have the money, that's really the issue. What I'm seeing in the background here though, is I'm seeing just a little bit too much traffic I think on this road. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this into a highway. The reason is a lot more cars have picked up because there's no longer a bus route. People are willing to take the train, but not everyone's willing to take the train, so that's something important to note. This is one of our new trains here, as you can see, and yeah, the wagon's maybe not the prettiest. Long term, when I get money, I will go to like TGVs or something like that. That's why I'm lagging so much, or I'm not lagging, but the frame rate's a bit jittery, because I was on ×3, but this is it, so it's interesting to say the least, very interesting. Yeah, it'll do for now, let's put it that way. The capacity's there, that's the big thing, the capacity is now there, and that train is pretty full, which is good to see. The line's only going to get busier and busier when we actually get this station up and running, because right now, no one can actually access the station, which is a bit of an issue. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect you up to there like that, and then hopefully we're going to start to see people actually using this station. So we're going to give it lots of road connections like so. Now what I need to do is in this town I need to create a tram, because currently we have no other forms of transport in this town, and that is just going to lead to poor usage at this train station. So we need to get people over to the station itself. So what I'm going to go for is a tram, as I have said. We're going to go with electric, and we're going to go with bus lanes, yes, and then we're going to upgrade. So what we're going to have is we're probably going to have a tram stop along one of these streets here, then what we're going to do is we're going to have probably a turning circle actually over here. Just do something like that if we can. I mean, that looks kind of hideous, but it's going to have to do. Can that turn? It can turn like that. So this is going to be our turning circle at one end. Then what this is going to do is this is going to go through the town, through there, over here and up this road here. So it doesn't actually quite go into the centre, which is maybe not the best thing. I could have really done a loop here, couldn't I? Ah well, we'll just see how things go. Actually, you know what, I am going to do a different route. I'm actually going to go up here instead, and then we're going to go along here. Then we're going to come up here, and we're going to have another turning circle up here. So what I'm going to do is probably a street connection round like that, and then if we upgrade this road here, and then we upgrade that road there, and that should be that done. You are upgraded. Yep, there we go, that's fine. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to downgrade you. So bus lanes no, tram tracks no. I'm going to downgrade this road here because it really doesn't need it no more. It can just be a normal road pretty much. So there we go, that's nice and easy. And we've got our 2 turning circles. So let's go ahead and create this line. In terms of mod, I've actually picked a few off the workshop, but I've not actually put them into the save, and I'm not really at all sure why, but I just didn't, so I will probably at another time though. So let's add 2 stations there. Let's add our main purpose station, which is going to be right outside of the main station here in Chorley. Then we're going to have a stop probably right in the centre here. That will serve this part of town. Then we can have another one in here. Then another one up this road here towards the end, and we can have another one up there, and that is pretty spread out, and that's why I think this route hopefully should be quite successful. As we can see currently on our trams, it's a bit mixed profits to be honest right now. We'll just have to see how things go. So let's connect up South Street, Stanley Roads, School Lane. Then we're going to come in here to Church Road, into York Road, and then that should loop back round, and I think it's all good. I'm going to change the colour of that though, because I'm struggling to see it if I'm honest. Back via Stanley Road, back via South Street, you should go up to Church Street, and then back to... Whoa, 1, 2... Yeah, no, that goes the right way, I was just very confused there. I didn't quite understand that, but there we go, so that is that. And that pretty much serves the whole town, one way or another, which is nice to see. So I do think this could be quite successful. So what you are is you are the TR Chorley. And I'm still waiting to see a train along here actually, I've still not seen one. Which is very strange. Is there a blockage in the line, or... am I missing something? No, I think the first train's maybe on its way over. I think maybe all the trains are just quite tightly packed together, so you're on the move. You've got 74 people on you, which is a fair amount actually. And you can take 168 as well, so all in all it's quite a large number. Still no one waiting at Chorley though, but let's get this tram up and going, and then that might make a little bit of a difference. So I've now posted the first episode, finally, after a ridiculous amount of time. I know it's, I mean, what we're on, episode 8, and the first episode only just went out, so you can tell how much pre-recording I'm actually currently doing right now. I don't know why I've got that out, because I need a tram depot. Basically, as I said, that's just the way things are going to be, but I just want to talk about the reception. The reception has been absolutely amazing on the CD so far, and I'd like to thank everybody for that. It's one of these things when coming back I was a bit, are people still going to be around, are people going to be willing to watch my content, just because I've been away for so long, but I think a lot of you just love my transport fever so much. I'm not really at all sure why it is, if it's for me, if it's for the gameplay, if it's for my voice, I really don't know, I can't put my thumb on it, but it seems to still going down really well, so I'm really thankful for that. Like ratings on videos just show me how many people watched it, and I got like 15 on the first episode, so that just really shows me that there is like 15 engaged people, and then there's obviously the people who don't even like the video who are engaged as well, so there's a decent number of views, which I'm very grateful for. episodes right now. Still just going to be continuing every 2 days, and I might have other games in between. I got asked to play Software Inc. and I've still not got round to that. I just don't know if it's my game. That's the honest thing. I love Transport Fever because I love transport and I love trains, whereas I do like a lot of Tycoon games, but I've watched a lot of Software Inc., but I've never been drawn to buying the game, so I'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, here we have a train coming along, and you are the one with 74 people, so I just want to see how many people are going to get off here, and how many people are going to get on. So, honestly, not a lot of people are going to be getting on. Only, it looks like 4 people are going to be getting on right now. I'm just interested to see how many people are going to disembark, though, because the train station is starting to fill up, which is a nice thing, but I don't really think too many people are going to disembark here, to be honest. I really don't think there will be. That train fits into the station no problem, and that is a 240 meter train station. Yeah, it's 240 meters, so it's a good length. I can't really have much longer than this though, but you're at 168 seats. I can't really see the need for much more, to be honest. This train coming down here should pick up quite a lot of speed, and then you should get into Burnham no problem. With that said, how are we doing over in Burnham? Right now there's 42 people waiting to go on the blue line, which is quite exciting, but I'm going to turn my attention back over to Hetton right now. So as we can see right now, there's a lot of vehicles of mine moving around. There are buses, there are trucks, and there are trams. I remember at the end of the last episode I was seeing that my trams near enough were full in Hetton, which is kind of interesting actually, especially down by the Bayside train station here. The Maidstone bus right now is going to be getting deleted, and that was the thing I was going to do this episode, delete that, which is really significant because the amount of buses it has, one, and the profit margins it's making, but I'm going to get rid of that line just because I feel it's really having a large effect on the train. I really honestly do. Where does this blue bus go? This goes to Telscom. And again, I'm not really too sure about that one. I think I'll probably delete that as well once I get a tram in Telscom itself. But let's look at Maidstone, because Maidstone now no longer has a service coming in from the left, only from the right. So Maidstone has probably dropped quite a lot in terms of its transportation coverage. It's at 40%, which could be a lot better. And I'm going to improve that with a tram. So, I mean, oh god, you can easily do a point-to-point no problem here, and I can easily see where the line will go. It's basically just going to go from left to right, honestly, that's the bottom line here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably start it away out here, and then I'm just going to have it go into town. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a turning circle here. Again, I'm just not a fan of loops. I've never really been able to make loops profitable. Point-to-points aren't exactly making me millions either, but they do much better, I feel anyway, than circles. Circles, I just really can't nail them down, to be honest. What we're going to do at this stage here is, I mean, we can really go to any part of town. I think we're going to cut down... Can that build, please? There we go. We're going to cut down this street here, and then along here, if that can build as well. Take a sharp turn. I think we actually will go into this depot. I think that's a good idea, so what we're going to do is we're going to upgrade you. Can you upgrade? I'm getting charged 2,000s, but I don't know if it's actually upgrading. I think that part has upgraded. Let's get charged another 2,000 for that. And now we're into this other part of town here, so I can honestly really go anywhere, as I said. I think we'll actually go straight over. Then we'll come up here to the top. We'll come along. And then we'll come down, I would say probably here, the street here if we can. Along there, and then along into there like that. And that is our other loop at the other end. So this point-to-point is quite long. We've actually already got a lot of stops on it as well, previous bus stops, which is good to see. What I need to do now is just plan out the last few though. That's a good train, I remember that being a good train, and it's blue, and it could time with our blue line quite well. So you can already see as well the just increase in the amount of people wanting to go on the Crimson Express already. It is quite drastic. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab some of these bus stops, and we're going to go ahead and stick them in up the top here. So we'll stick in a stop just here, We'll stick in another stop up there, and then we'll stick in a stop probably just about here as well. You'll come down there, you'll go into there. You can stop there, but I'm actually going to make you stop here instead. You're actually going to stop there instead, and now you're going to be stopping there instead. So minor changes, but I think it will make the world a difference. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of some of the old stops just so I don't get confused. So get rid of use. I think with these new stops, these are just placed a little bit more, they're a little bit better spread out, I feel. So let me jump back into here and have a look. And overall, yeah, I would say that spread out that just a little bit better. In terms of this end of the line though, I do want to add in a stop probably just up the top here. And then another one probably along... Probably we'll do it actually in here. I expect this part of the town to grow, that's really what I'm going for. So let's jump back into trams. This is going to be our biggest tram project yet, and I'm really hoping that... I think this tram should do quite well. So you're going to start off there. I'm actually going to have you come round to here first. Is that going to work? So 1, 2, yep, there we go. So that's absolutely perfect. Queen Street at 3. Queen's Road at 4. Queen's Way at 5. Okay, that could be AI. That really could be AI. I'm starting to think that now. Into King's Roads. Then we actually go into the annex itself. Cut across, we go into Church Roads. Then we come around Victoria, and then we come back down into Victoria Street and Victoria Road, again quite beside each other. Come into the Maidstone Annex, back to King's Road, back to School Lane, back to Queensway, back to Queen's Road, back to Queen Street, and then that, ladies and gentlemen, should be the full loop, I believe. If I've got everything right, I think this part, I mean that should, it's going to detect it's a tram, so we should be fine. And that will be us good to go. So let's call this a TR Maidstone, I think. Yeah, that'll do, yeah, spelled right. Thought I put a space in it there for some reason. And now all we need is a tram depot, which we're going to do in a less busy part of town, which we'll probably do up here. So we jump in and grab ourselves depots. And then tram, rotate this bad boy. And stick you there. Again, I'm sort of looking forward to getting some more trams, but for now we're sort of just stuck with these smaller ones. Let's buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is a lot. In saying that, 8 trams is actually only, what, 184 seats, I believe. So it's not actually that much, considering the town's population is, what, 1,200 just about. So you can just really tell. What I am going to do though is on some of the roads which haven't been upgraded, I'm going to upgrade them without bus lanes. So no and no to you guys. So for example, this main road, where's Main Street? This is Main Street here. I think you just need a bit of an upgrade as it is anyway. Just in terms of the amount of vehicles that are coming along here. If you've got a bus coming along you, which it looks like you do, I will put in bus lanes along this section here. So let's do that nice and easily. This section here, you can just see the amount of cars building up. If my buses are getting caught in this traffic, I just don't want them to be getting stuck in the traffic. So there we go, out to there. And that is that problem pretty much solved. So again, we'll come back later on in the episode and just see how the trams are getting on. Right now they're all in a row, so I can't imagine they are going to be doing very well, but over time I think they should do that little bits better. The Hetton trams are up at 200k, so that shows you how well things are doing. And the Burnham ones are just about in the profit as well. Chorley are brand new and so are Maidstone, so you can't really judge them yet, but Burnham's definitely starting to get a lot more users, which is good, and I think it's only just going to grow as the train network gets expanded and the train station here is used more and more. Jumping up here, how many people have we got? We've got 9 people waiting at this train station, and we've got a few people using the trams. We've got 2 on that one, 4 on that one, 1 on that one, and 2 on that one. So, you know what, we're getting there, we're starting off. But what I think will help is if we add in probably a bus route coming out this town near to one of these tram stops. I think that'll really help things, and I've got a feeling that going up to Crowland would be a good shout. We could also maybe do Port's Head actually too, because Portishead's already got bus stations, it's already got quite good connections, and I think it could probably do with people getting moved at a little bit better rate, because I'm actually amazed at the amount. I'm pretty sure I've got a lot of buses on the Port-ish head, which, what a name by the way. I'm pretty sure I've got a lot of buses on that route already, so that's this one here, which is from Hampstead to Portish Head. It does have, how many buses? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it has 10 buses on it right now. What I'm literally going to do is I'm going to add 6 extra buses. You can already see here as well, there is a lot of people, near enough a full train's worth, wanting to go to Hetton Central, which is nice to see. Whereabouts is the road depot? There it is. So let's go ahead and jump in, let's go by passenger. We have got some new buses, but I really don't think there's still not a capacity increase, so we're still going to be rocking this. Go for that mustard yellow and buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these guys, which is all good, and then set yous onto the Hampstead Port-ish headline. So I think that really should be making a lot of difference. There's not too much build up down this end, to be fair actually, it's more just the other end, because it's just absolutely insane, to be honest. And then we've obviously coming up to Bangor here as well. Bangor, the demand actually isn't that high for Bangor, to be honest, so I think Bangor should be okay. What about Bawtry, or I keep calling it Bawtry? You could probably do with some more buses as well, so I think I'll throw a few more buses on at this stage, and then we're going to go ahead and end this episode by building a new bus route. So let me go ahead and add 1, 2, 3, 4. Not quite as many, but I mean that's still over an extra 100 seats. 112 to be exact, and that, ladies and gentlemen, should hopefully just help this town out that little bit. One thing I am seeing is this glitch yet again. Not really at all sure what's going on here, I'm just going to leave it for the time being. I don't also know why the Portish Head buses are around this part of town when they should probably be going through other parts of town. Very confused. I think they're probably just heading up to Portish Head to start off, so I'm going to leave it, because if I mess with stuff then it's just going to make things extremely messy. So I'm wanting to look at train profits now, because I think the tide have turned, and they have turned. Crimson Express is now in the profit, Blue Line is in the negative though, which is extremely disappointing. I've got a feeling that all 4 of these trains are going to be very close to each other, and that's what I want to go ahead and find out. So 1's at Hampstead, 2's at Hampstead, and 2 are on their way to Hetton Central. So the bottom line is these trains are not spread out, so we need to work out which one is the furthest ahead. I've got a feeling it could be train 2. Or no, you're actually going, so you must be last. So Hetton is last. Train 2. We must have 3 trains down this section, so you're the next one. And you're train 8, so you're second last. Then there must be a train leaving the station now, which is train 4. So where does that put train 1? Are you just about to arrive on... No, train 1 is very far last. You're like a long way last, which is good. So you're spread out, so you can literally see the front runner train 4 is full. Then the second one is a little bit full, but then train 2 is just a bit shit, and then so is the next train as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delay train 1 and train 2 by quite a bit, just to create a larger gap, to be honest. That's really what I want to do. I'm also seeing something that I don't like over... Or no, that's in that you're away down in Hetton Central, so whereabouts is train 2 right now? You're in this tunnel here, and you're on your way to Hetton Central, so there's now going to be a much bigger gap as well, which is very nice to see indeed. You've actually got a lot less people on you as well, so I'm just gonna... It's a good thing to do, trust me, it's a good thing to do. Especially when you do a lot of upgrading, you often land up mucking things up and things don't go your way, which is not the best. I also remember saying that I would upgrade this road, and that's what I'm going to do very shortly. It's just insane the amount of trucks I've got, and the amount of trucks I've got on some routes. They definitely need railway lines, but I just don't have the money for railway lines right now. That's just my problem. That is honestly just the problem. I need the money. Anyway, what we're going to do now, one of yous are in Chorley and one of yous are just about to arrive at, or you should be past Hampstead by now. No, you're not. This is very strange. You should be much further on. Oh well, right, I'm going to set you guys off now, so that should hopefully make a big difference. So number 2 is just about on its way to Hampstead, and Hampstead is now built up a lot more people, so that's up to 83. Time the train gets there, it'll be over 100, so that little change should hopefully just turn that a little bit more profitable. You can already see we're down to 1 million, and by the end of the episode we should be in the profits. Okay, so the final thing we're going to do, I do realise we're just about out of time. I do want to give Chorley its own bus station, and then I also want to go ahead and get it connected up to some other towns. So let's jump into here, let's grab a bus station. I'm going to go for the large one, because I think it looks pretty goddamn cool. We're going to stick you in probably... I'm actually going to go for the smaller one. I'm going to stick you up on the hill because I think that's quite cool. Though I've just realised there's probably going to be quite a large slope going up to it. Not too big a slope though, which is good. And that's bus only, which is fine by me. And that is that sorted. So from here we need to connect up to the town of Portishead Head. Now the bus station in Portishead Head is actually on this side, which is good. So what we're going to do is first of all join that up and make that bus lane no, just because that's annoying me. And we're going to join that up as well. So what I want to do is I want to have bus stops here. I want to have a bus stop probably up the top here, and then I want to have another one quite in the middle like so, and then you'll go into the station there, no problem. Then at this end, honestly I think I might just have this one coming straight into town just because the town's well served as it is due to the trams, so I think we should just be good to go. The little amount of bus lines now we've got very few. We've got one which that should long term get deleted. 2, 3, 4, 5. We've only got 6 bus routes now, just because we're trying to go ahead and move lots of people over to the train, which is nice to see. Anyway, so coming out of here, I'm going to stick with this colour because I know I'm going to need to use it at some point. The road up here is extremely windy as well, I've just realised, so again, an opportunity for me to go ahead and straighten out the roads. Via New Road, Spring Road, and then Alexander Road, and then all the way along back to here. It's actually a bit of a bigger distance than I thought, you know that, in between these two towns. But we're going to call this B. Chorley to Portishead Head, which doesn't have 2 H's, so I'll very quickly change that, and that's that problem solved. Finally, what we need in this town is we need a road depot, which is nice and easy to go ahead and implement. So let's grab one of you guys, let's stick yous there, out the way, and let's add some buses on here. Now from previous experience, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start off with 8 buses, so that's 5, that's 6, that's 7, that's 8. I do reckon this route is going to come extremely successful over time, so I think that what I've done with like the Portishead Head to Hampstead, I started off with a lot of buses anyway, but Portishead Head is a big town, so I think it's really important, and you can just see the amount of buses in this whole area in general. This junction is bus mad, but I can guarantee you, well, you're new, but all of these are pretty full. So, I mean, you're not, but you're probably new as well. You get what I mean. You really do. You should get what I mean anyway. That was a bad example. That's the bottom line. Okay, so with that done, that's pretty much the episode, or my goals really for this episode done. We're not allowed to industry, but I really just want a bit more money before I turn my attention back to industry, because there's 1 or 2 industry railway lines I want to build, to do with the fuel and to do with the coal issue, just to get some trucks off the road in and around Hetton, honestly, because there's a lot of traffic going on, that is for sure. What I also need to deal with is this issue here, which is to do with the steel mill. It's strange, actually, it is. How are you doing? Yeah, this is pretty mental, isn't it? So, very mental indeed. So, this is just some of the stuff I need to improve. We also just need to get more machines being produced because it's having a knock-on effect, so on and so forth. Anyway, in terms of profits, ooh, that's interesting. Yearly income's actually drastically down, I would say. So we've been gaining, what, 50 million the past 2 years. We actually are probably on for 50 million again. I mean, it's May, which is the 5th month, just about the end, and we're at 25 million. So yeah, we'll hit over 50, which is fine. What I do want to check is the profit, the trains, and we're back into the positive, which is great to see. I think that's okay. I spoke too soon. We can see that the trains are... they're doing a tad better anyway. They're doing a tad better. But again, it's just over time, I'm sure they'll sort themselves out. If not, I mean, it's up to 2.24 million now, so it's a little bit jumpy, but it's better, and the Crimson line is in the profit itself as well, which is great. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm wrapping this episode up here, so thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like, rating, subscribe if you are new around here. Follow me on Twitter and follow me on Patreon. All the support is really appreciated. And that's all for this video, so thanks very much for watching. My name is Bigfoot, and I'm out.